Welcome back, everyone. Collegiate Rocket League is live and online all over again. I'm HailMonkeyMan in the booth alongside Bearlight, and we've got a Division 2 matchup for match number 2 of the evening. It's going to be some good old Eagles from Winthrop Academy Garnet going up against BPC. That is Brewton-Parker Christian's JV team. Both these teams are at 1-0 and in slightly different ways. Game 7s, sweeps, week 1, a little bit crazy, but let's check out the roster.
Yeah, no doubt. Brewton-Parker College coming in, their JV team, Wish, Manny, and Coke All-Star Kyler, who I know from Stay Plugged In back in the day, and definitely some difference makers there. Kyler in particular, very strong player, so they'll look to man that squad. But the Winthrop Garnet team I've gotten to know very well. So the bordering state teams of Georgia versus South Carolina, where Winthrop exists, is NECC, Monster King, and Phantom. NECC, the name is Burger in Game, and those three have been absolutely dynamic, not only here in NECC, but in other places as well. They come in 1-0 currently, but Brewton-Parker College, you can say the exact same. They both started off with the victory, so they're both 1-0 here in NECC.
BPC's JV team, this is their first time fielding this team, especially into this competition. So this is going to be their debut semester here with the NECC. And what a cut! We get it from NECC, call him the burger. That one's got some good toppings as they make the first score in a big way.
Monster King set him up, and then that touch is brutal for the defense of BPC to try to read. That was disgusting from Burger, showing off why Winthrop Garnet is coming into this red hot. Now, that being said, though, they lost in C3 just yesterday to a USC team that they also lost in the championships of that region. So because of that, they might be hungry coming out. So expect nothing but some sure grit here from the Winthrop Garnet team.
It actually just treated week number 1 to a sweep against UCF Knights, so good 4-0 to start things off, and you definitely, you kind of nailed it there. They're looking to get very red hot to go into this week 2 of NECC. And on the other side of things, Winthrop Academy Garnet, this is a squad that went very deep into the Division 2 playoffs of the East region when we were in the fall. They fell short against what was a surprise Cleveland State esports squad, who ended up being the number 8 seed, going all the way into the grand finals through a lower bracket run. But Winthrop, they took down their cross-state rival in the form of USC, who was red hot that semester as well. So a lot of good talent on this pitch overall. BPC hoping to find their first trek here onto the pitch.
And that one's left open. Nobody's able to get back to it, so Manny will be able to punch one in. We'll equalize here. Didn't look like much work going there. Monster King must have misread it. Thought that they were going to get a touch that was a little bit stronger. Left the door wide open. Brewton-Parker College says, thank you very much.
It's a strong team overall. I was talking to their coach a little bit before. Shout out over to Corrupt. He got to play in a few of the leagues that it set up back in the day. And this is a team apparently that has all vibes. They said that they only communicate through zoo noises. So, you know, maybe is not good for stopping Monster King's shot here.
From the Monkey Man himself. We love it. Monster King found that angle, able to bury that one as well. This is going to be a team that is very frustrating to play up against, and I'm referring to Winthrop Garnet because T. Carell has coached this team, and let me tell you, they're one of the most boost-hungry teams, but in a good way, in the way that they'll steal your boost instantly. Their boost control is unbelievable. I've been witnessing that for the last couple of weeks, and because of that, it makes it very difficult to play up against. Shout out T. Carell for coaching this team in that way, who actually turned 25 just the other day, February 8th, so happy late birthday to T. Carell. But Kyler's trying to spoil the party there.
You're talking about him being a Coca-Cola All-Star. Well, the dude knows how to be able to take a pass and slam it on home, especially top shelf. Hey, T. Carell now can rent a car. So
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. 25. That's when you can officially be trusted to operate a motor vehicle that you don't own. So, you know, look forward to that, college kids.
Nothing else.
3 minutes. What else can you do?
Nothing until you're 35 and you're president. Become president. That's like the only other thing to look forward to.
Well, wait, there are other ones, I think, becoming a senator. No, we'll get into politics of it overall, but everyone, I think, has their own goal here from the side of Winthrop.
Yeah, sharing the love. How this team operates for sure. Burger able to set them up right in the middle. So, Brewton-Parker College definitely has a handful, but they've answered 1 for 1 every single time within a very short time frame. We'll see if they draw something up off the kickoff. So we'll find Kyler. pop it past one. Not going to be able to catch up to that one, but a touch will play it high. Now a 1v1 situation. They're getting bumped on the back end. Shot on the far post. It'll be defended away by Burger.
Taking sweet time. Want to be able to angle this outwards. I was talking with Monster King a little bit, who was coordinating some of this moving into tonight's stream, and they were talking about how they are now a freestyler. Well, they present themselves an opportunity to try and get something working up this pitch. And it works out pretty well. They had to bump away one man, but this is BPC. It ends up just taking advantage of an open sky.
Easy doing. 2:15 left, and we're right back where we started. Even grounds. See who can't take advantage of it. It's been a very obvious pattern of Winthrop, BPC, Winthrop, BPC. As that try and continue working, Brewton-Parker College JV team get their first lead of the series. Yet to be seen. Monster King was answered there on the sidewall. Burger all the way to the ceiling. He'll try to find Phantom. Good passing play. Wish on the back check. He'll just swat that one away. Now he's in pursuit as well. Ran out of boost. Doesn't care. Still on this ball. It'll fall back down where Kyler's on it. Back off that ceiling. Handled well by the defense of Winthrop, but a great passing play back out. And that one's also defended by Phantom.
Really good fundamentally, especially as they're operating at a very quick velocity to be able to challenge into some of these. That's a great pickup by Phantom. They've got a free look, maybe two of them. They have to force them to jump. Monster King will finish it off. Look at this jump off. We've been seeing Kyler kind of stuck on an island. He joins the party a little bit late, doesn't have a lot of boost, and Monster King knows he has so much time to let this ball fall right back onto his hood and get that late shot.
And it was the flip reset that actually threw it off his car and then slowed down his car enough to be able to get to it. But yet every single time we see Winthrop put one on, BPC JV has had an answer. We go back and forth constantly.
That's going to be what? Manny gets their Hattie, so they're 3 for 4 from the pitch. And like you mentioned, it's never left well enough alone. So our first game went to overtime by virtue of a crazy defense versus a crazy offense in Division 6. Division 2 might be the very same, but everything's getting scored out here.
It is completely opposite. It's been clean play, except for a couple of breakdowns defensively. That's all we've seen. But other than that, it's been just offensive onslaught. Super fun for the viewers. We appreciate you joining us if you are here. That's Manny that takes a shot far side, but Phantom all the way back down. Handled by Kyler. Interrupted by Phantom, but back up and back out here from BPC, who still hasn't led despite this 4-4 goal scoring phenomenon. Had an opportunity there with the demo. Burger now off that sidewall, found Monster King. And it just should chip out here from BPC, but they'll give up possession as Phantom wants to find their way out. Ticking down to about 30 seconds left and still no ground. Finally a break from the goal scoring we saw earlier.
Creating an anxious step. Kyler was at that midfield mark, just looking to kind of hedge their bets towards the front arc of that defensive side. They're looking to beat them back if they can. Burger's going to take this one back. Not enough speed to be a true threat. Going to look for that midfield boost. Does so. Manny wants to climb the line. He has nearly all the goals. Can he find another one? He's going to be an option. He's going to be across the pitch, pre-flip. Looking to find another chance from the top boards. Kyler's going to let them have one extra opportunity. A slam home! Make-A-Wish Foundation just got it as BPC gets one late.
And just keep fighting through. And this one barely squeaked by. Monster King was holding that post. But in true Carolina fashion, an own goal technically, as that one goes in. The real one's in Carolina, no. But that was just unfortunate for Winthrop, who fought off everything. But credit BPC. Brewton-Parker College was there consistently, putting that pressure on and getting that last goal as well. And their shot count definitely showed it.
We've got ourselves a heck of a series on our hands. If that first game is multiplied across all the rest of our games, you and I may be here for a while. That was a wonderful showcase of not just like you see the score, you're like, all right, 5-4. That's a 9-game hauler. That's actually kind of crazy. But it's not like there wasn't defense. Just the way that they were able to cleverly and quickly get the ball to one another off of some of those exterior bounds passes. Like the initial attempt from that final one that gave a chance over to the Barons to get that game in 0-second time. Started from that right corner, evolved into another pass that then went over to Manny, and then they gave themselves one floater that finally just judged in. So it's This one, we could end up going to like a 2-1 or a 1-0 in this next game. What a treat for that first game.
It was great, man. And you bring up a solid point. Brewton-Parker College, they look like USC out there, the SJT to OG combination. Found each other consistently, and they made something out of nothing a lot. And that is really something that you have to do against Winthrop. Not to mention that boost nullification that I mentioned, where Winthrop is absolutely going to steal your boost. You can't do it if you're that quick. Like Brewton-Parker College is, if you're trained to be able to fight something like that off, you can certainly get the upper hand. And I mean, you got to look back to all the times that Winthrop got those goals early, and every single one of them answered. Otherwise, Brewton-Parker College wouldn't even have been in a position to win in the first place.
And it's so well defined as well, what you've been talking about for just their resource consumption, and as well as being greedy with it against BPC. They had one man that was at 90% boost just a second ago go to their own back corner. They sensed that a Baron player was nearby, and they took that corner. They're like, I'm not going to worry about my teammate right now. I'm making sure you got nothing. So they want to priority make sure that this entire pitch is dry. If you are BPC, Manny rather, it's gonna get a freebie as this one ends up just dead on the goal line.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out exactly how this went awry. Manny just, was gonna go, I think it was gonna go bar down. I'm not sure if it was or not, but you have to take that chance, I feel like. You have to be able to try to swat it out from the goal line there. Fortunately, it bit him, because it could have been high, you never know. Look, as Winthrop's trying to answer themselves off the kickoff. This one is a 1-for-1 showcase, and I'm here for it.
One of them score most recently and twice in a row is BPC's JV squad. They took that one in 0-second time. I think it hung for about 5 to 10 seconds at the end of regulation there in game number 1. Winthrop is used to being the one that's a trendsetter, the go-getter, the initiator for this lead exchange. Over the top of one. Not a lot of boost there for Wish. He at least forces one high to let his teammate not only respawn, but his team kind of separates. In the first 100 seconds now, he lapses here into game number 2, and BPC still has the lead.
Phantom back out, finds Monster King. Kyler able to fend off this one. Burger couldn't make contact. Rare miss there from Winthrop. This one will be back out to center. That one's wide open as well. Shot taken, easy money. Brewton-Parker College certainly having their way. Wish is second of the series. We'll make it 2-0.
Awkward collection right now because Burger ended up ahead of Monster King in that rotate because they both went into the same line. Now, Burger was facing across the goal line, so he was cycling that corner, but Monster King had already committed into that basically back quadrant. So whenever he had to go and defend against it, that shot was behind him and he couldn't adjust quickly enough. So very smart play by BPC, recognizing when there was an overcommit by the Eagles. So nearly at the midway mark, this one is a smoke screen. Oopsies, hands it off to the Burgermeister. They cut this lead in half.
It's what Winthrop needs to do. They have to be able to answer the physicality. You know, when that demo comes out, you want to be able to go 1-for-1. And because they took out the last member back, makes it very easy for the Eagles. Let them guard it. Right back within that one. Certainly don't want to let things get away from you. Remember the last time we saw a super close matchup was last matchup in that Division 6 matchup. The team that lost in overtime really fell apart over the course of the rest of the series. For Winthrop, they lost in a 0-second goal. Feels exactly the same. So to see them back within one is encouraging, to say the least.
A lot of experience and veteranship, though, exists with these kinds of programs as well as these kinds of players. So they know that the first game, it means it's at least a spark. It's not the entirety of a series, and that's fantastic value that comes out not only from these players overall, but as well as their coaching staff and otherwise. So very winning style collegiate programs craft some fantastic players into even greater champions. 2 minutes to go. BPC under threat as this one booms to their backboard, and there wasn't really a present defender. They got someone that's going to rotate down. Winthrop Garnet, though, is just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and see what will stick.
And sometimes you just got to be experimenting as things don't quite go your way over the, a couple minutes or so elapsed. I don't know if that's a freebie, but Phantom didn't want to commit as a third back with a demo. That'll be your cue. Dives into the box, but nobody there to support as Burger got there a little bit late. Had boost in the tank, though, as Monster King will also 50 here at midfield. But Phantom push back, and now you got to be careful. Big bump from Monster King will set up the play here for Winthrop. what could have been disastrous for them turns into the equalizer.
Phantom giving his teammate a high five, keeps cycling around, and honestly, you and I probably would not expect Manny to be caught up in the spin cycle there that Phantom was able to evolve from that midline, because he was right behind that ball, but it was the widest cut ever from the right to the left that moved that ball adjunct to where his car was going to jump to. So keeping consistent, keeping with the play, and now they're going to put another one dead on target. Berger at least gets one stoppage. That's going to be a tackle on, and then twice it kisses the goal line.
I'm convinced that Brewton-Parker College left that first opportunity on the board just as a fake, because they thought it was going to be saved, and then left it the far post, but they hit post again. So that was unfortunate for them. But look at the passing still connecting. That chance is going to go high, which looked to settle it down. Didn't quite get that touch on the support effort there at midfield. I'm not sure who that was, but you're able to at least keep it here and nullified for now. And with 37 seconds left, Monster King wanted to flip it away. Instead, flipped it right in the hands of Kyler, which going to be beat to it as well. Phantom on it. This is Berger trying to just push it right back in from the sidewall. Thought that Kyler was going to be out there earlier. I thought if he went straight to that ball, he had the opportunity as well. 15 seconds left, and now it's Winthrop trying to push back out to midfield. This one will go high. Berger now trying to find a teammate, but leaves possession for Brewton-Parker instead. Up for it already. Manny off the back wall, but this is pinched. Now the other direction. Almost had that play in transition, but Winthrop goes just off the mark. We have overtime.
DPC tossed everything upfield. They didn't think that the demo was going to come through. They only had one man to really force the Eagles to have to roost for a little bit, but it was scary to say the least. They had boomed that out, allowed a possession to manifest for Winthrop. They took a shot, but good news for the Barons. We're in overtime. Very close have both games been. This one, half strength of what the offensive output was. They have a third man on deck to send this one to midfield. Kyler and Manny will be the dynamic duo to try and make this one work out. Kyler with a setup. He gets a bump. Manny will be there. Backboard styling. Can he get it down? No, this one will have to float.
Monster King on it as well. We're going to have Kyler up there causing issues. And Berger just left it there too, but the weak touch will leave it for Phantom. Wide open net, but wasn't able to convert. And they're still on it too. Brewton-Parker College just want a little bit of relief now as Phantom on it. Winthrop is so quick getting downfield that you can't take your foot off the gas pedal for 1 second. Otherwise, they're going to be right there next to your goal looking to punch it in.
Deep breath, hands on the chest, clutch and pearl necklaces as BPC, as this one nearly existed into the back line and would have had us a tie ball game. What in the world? If that goes in, that's not going to happen. Kyler will dig it out. He had bumped Phantom into an assist possibility to go across that goal line. Still, BPC is like, what kind of devil are we facing off against? It keeps just coming up with some random crazy luck.
A pull shot in 2026? Whatever. What? Hello? Almost worked out for him. Monster King off this corner. Is a follow there. Well, not in time. Not at all, actually. Phantom will go right back high. Look for the teammate. Monster King back down. Shot there. Answered nicely. Big save from Manning. Now it's the other way. Kyler tried to find the pass, but that one was telegraphed. Now Berger and Winthrop in transition. This is where they're so deadly. And right now, Phantom wants it again. Extra touch was across, but Berger was just a little bit too close. Had he been across the field, would have been great. Now in transition the other way. What end-to-end Rocket League we got, Monkey Man?
We're getting very narrow margins of difference, and they're gonna dive! Kyler! Splitting the difference between defender and left side post. I was gonna say that BPC had been just so few opportunities, but the few they've been getting, they've been banking.
I love that for Kyler, man. Me and him really close over the Stay Plugged inside. A good friend of mine during that time frame. Good to see him absolutely popping off in the biggest of moments, and that is a hard pill to swallow on the other side of the coin. Winthrop Garnet, that close twice. First a 0-second goal, then an overtime loss as well. They're so good in transition. However, Brewton-Parker College has been doing enough to fight that off, to fight the offenses there, to fight the boost control in addition to that, and that's why they had this series 2-0. Instead, when it could have easily flipped the switch and been a 2-0 from Winthrop.
They were treating Phantom like his name was Plank from Ed, Edd n Eddy and using him to beat the heck out of that ball. They threw him into the corner and just were using him as a battering ram, just sweeping around the perimeter. Some of you are OGs and know that show, by the way. Shout out if you do. But wow, okay, so chaos abound. Felt like Winthrop was trying to manifest just whatever's in the magician's hat, but now we've seen two games, one very close offensively ends on just a dramatic 0-second, ender. And then this one that found a pretty deep OT. And it was a comeback by the Eagles. Eagles this time around, they weren't in the driver's seat. As much as those cars were moving, they weren't dictating what this pitch looked like. Should be able to get something close at least on this initial rip. But Winthrop Garnet, got to feel like they want to score first this time.
Oh, absolutely. And it's definitely tough. But if you look at the Brewton-Parker College side, that certainly speaks volumes of this JV team. I mean, the fact that even if you're, like, behind, you still have confidence that you can come back and answer every goal and win at 0 seconds. Or if you're in front as well and you see the lead start to dissipate, you can still gather yourselves in an overtime victory. So I like this team's conscience coming into this one. I think they have a very strong head on their shoulders, and they're looking to get right back to it as well. But Phantom makes a big save early here, as BPC right back to what they were doing. That one crossbar as well, but it'll stay out. Now follow-up is there. Shot taken, and another big save from Monster King. Still not done. Another shot, and that one was probably the weakest of all of them, but it does find its way in. So BPC will take the lead.
Consistency. Look how everyone from Winthrop Garnet wanted to finally leave the net, but no one knew who was the true third man anymore. Those first two shots pushed everyone from off of the back wall, used all their flips that they had used in succession, got them out of position. This one might be able to find early. What a save by Manny, but the boost had been used. And so Winthrop Garnet wasn't prepared for the next successive shots. So BPC, JV, by the way, hold this thought, as they have a couple of big demos, just an honest shot forward. They haven't dropped a game yet from week 1 to 2. 6 straight games.
Yeah.
They are currently undefeated, and Winthrop Garnet has got to put a smudge on these guys.
On fire, and maybe taking advantage of Winthrop when they're the most vulnerable after having lost yesterday. So now Berger tries to get back to it. The pinch back down. That should be relatively free. It is. Monster King will take that punch in. Easy does it. Winthrop back here, equalized. 3:31 left.
Rollover by Berger. Makes that touch out. That goes to the top of the box, and they basically force Wish, who was kind of facing that near side post, to have to dive in reverse. So he makes that longer turn, and that's a bit slower. So good gap control. Berger's opposite this. Monster King might be able to just drop it in. Hey, using those freestyler moves to full effect, they get the lead.
Just thinking that the way he glues it to his car whenever he gets to it, that extra flick, that gets you right on it. And then you can just guide it home. Even if that one bounces off the side, off the post, you're able to position your car in a way to tap it in. So great focus and energy there from Winthrop Garnet. Another first lead in a while. So that's good news for them as well. Get back up on top, but we know how Brewton-Parker can answer. We saw it so many times in game number 1, almost saw it again. In fact, they're still not out of harm's way yet, says Kyler. Still on it. And this one after another, the rotations offensively for Brewton-Parker College. I mean, it has been absolutely relentless over the last couple of games.
Look at the abuse that's happening right now of Manny, forcing the defender to have to just be into his windshield. I was thinking that if that shot was a little bit faster, they might have been able to take advantage when they had him about 5 feet deep in the net. Now, Phantom and company, I mean, look to the top left of your screen. There's not been a lot of boost overall for the Eagles. They have a surplus right now. BPC, and on average, has held about 50 boosts to their name versus what I'm seeing much more into the teens and 20s out of Garnet. They like to be able to go and get that boost, but they're being denied that key resource. And not just in Rocket League, but to their coaching. They want to dominate this pitch and hold that. Now, they've still got these 2 goals. They got the one that's above BPC, but BPC's trying to be able to win them in the macro game now.
Monster King has some issues there. A little bit of a back flip that maybe wasn't intended, or maybe it was, because they stayed with possession. Phantom quick flick. That'll force one up. It's Wish on the back line. Berger was there to try and challenge him, try to rush him a little bit, but it was unsuccessful overall. Look at Monster King stay in that play. At virtually just fluttering some boosts there And midfield eventually got that touch away. It was just enough to hold and buy time for the rest of the team. That pass play, Monster King there in a hurry to shut that one down before it even began.
Tip of the nose type shot. That was going to be so quick. Phantom's going to try and lay this one down. And again, they are being met. Both teams throwing last man up so that the key striker can't let that one through. Phantom with an off-pace knuckleball. Let's see how this one came about. Monster King just rode that wall, got it past that backboard defender, and well, Kyler was expecting this one to have some heat.
Yeah, he was guessing there on the far side and said, well, you know, it's not one that you thought was going to be a little bit of a change up there. So, hey, Winthrop Garnet on top in comfortable fashion now for once. We remember what happened in game one, or at least if you're Winthrop Garnet, you should. That one's going to be wide open as well. So suddenly a little bit of a breakdown for BPC. I don't think Winthrop Garnet's doing much different than what they've been doing the past couple of games. It's just BPC's left the door open a couple times.
That one was off of Manny because Wish was deep up into the front side of that midfield line. And Manny just decided, all right, this is my all-in. I'm going to jump on top of this. That just comes down to a timing moment. Soon as you reveal your cards, well, the only one left to play is to let that ball go over you. So good looks here by the Eagles. They've got themselves a 3-goal lead. This has definitely been building upon their largest lead in the entirety of our 3 games. And it looks very promising for us to at least see them split up this series and not have a second sweep on the night.
It's definitely goals. Put it on the list. Brewton-Parker College, that rotation that's typically there, not there, but the demo will get them right back to it. Here's Kyler with the great try on the double touch. Second follow-up opportunity, and rebound chance is going to be denied. And Wish not going to be able to steal that boost either, so Phantom up to the ceiling. Wanted to be able to get it and stay in that challenge. Flipped himself back into play, try to get in the way of the ball. Try to deflect it away before Brewton-Parker College can get back on it. They still have another shot opportunity, and Phantom now to try and touch it away. Still caught well by Manny. Great job to kind of settle that one too away from Berger, but that one's gonna be stopped in its tracks, and Monster King with that shot on to kill enough time here at this point in time. So Winthrop Garnet with a much needed game win here after struggling the past couple of games to get over the hump, it would seem, and not even letting that last one in either. They'll be now 2-1 in the series in favor of Brewton-Parker College.
And Parker just kind of fading out from that latter 2 minutes of this game, even after having 13 shots to just the 9 in comparison out of Winthrop. It was their defense that really kind of stood up late term, didn't let them even have a spark that would flow into game number 4. We are guaranteed in game number 5, in case you guys don't know how BO7s work. Well, there you go. So for Garnet, I mean, felt like that they took over the first 2 minutes. That's what really needed to happen. And for BPC, much of it just was like, all right, we can't get the quick stride happening. We weren't able to win our 2-on-1s, and give a lot of kudos over to that long-standing defense. Like, we got to see it out of Monster King. Again, speak to them. They told us that they apparently have become a freestyler, starting to see presence of that by being able to kind of navigate their way through some of that pressure, playing a lot of good shadow defense to stop some of those strikes on that would otherwise target their net.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably gonna, roast me as far as cliches go, but it really is all about confidence. And here's why I say this. Okay, hear me out here, everybody in chat that's like, oh yeah, he's using a buzzword here. Every single game that Winthrop's won this year in NECC has been absolute stomps. Like, they've been really one-sided affairs. That one you kind of count to some degree, but we're talking like 6-1s, 6-2s, 5-1s, somewhere in that range. Again, a 4-1. So whenever they lose, it's by a super close margin. So if they have that confidence, they're absolutely rolling. And the only ones they've lost are when they're super close. And the fact that they've got this momentum and we're seeing plays from Phantom like that, faking them, well, they got all the confidence in the world running into this game number 4.
I saw presence of evidence from the past two games prior to the game number 3. Both teams trying to do a lot of floor pinches. This time around, Phantom's like, you know what? I was treated like some kind of crazy backboard. I can also be treated like a glove. And I can catch this ball, and I will boot, scoot, boogie it directly into the net. They do so very quickly. So BPC been put on alert. As it's what? That was a 4-1 ender, so it's a 5-1 difference from through that game now through the first minute here of game number 4. Winthrop Garnet really looking kind of like Garnet of old, or rather Winthrop of old. BPC have been separated. It seems like they're strangulating their own rotation. They got a 2-on-1 right now. Where's the man? Oh, he goes flying by.
Berger is right here. Has no boost in tank, but still going to make a play, or at least try. Tyler's right there with the tank of boost. How many times have we said that? Full control here again for Brewton-Parker College. The Monster King had enough, just enough to be able to tap it out, but he gave away possession here to Manny. As they're right back on it as well. Sidewall, Phantom chops it out, which tries to punch it back in. I think he was looking for Kyler there, but Kyler had peeled off the play to try to get some boost in the play the other way. Big save from Manny. Now the rebound chance is also shut down there as well. Brewton-Parker College's defense, right spot, right time. Now you got Kyler right back to it, but shut down on the other side as well.
Zoo had been quiet for a little bit too long. The animals woke up as the keepers finally came in and gave them some old snacks. So they started chewing away at opportunities like that. Still haven't come away with a goal. And he gets a demo, making another one as Wish, I think, end up getting pushed by somebody to turn someone into dust. It's trying to be returned in kind by the Eagles as Monster King aims to keep BPC now sequestered backwards. Phantom with disruption, followed by Berger. It doesn't have much depth to it. This is just a lot of kind of back quadrant cycling by the Eagles, but they've got the lead right now. They can burn some of that extra clock.
That's what they're choosing and electing to do here, as Phantom knew that that pass wasn't going to make it through, but it did kind of buy a little bit of time. And also, you never know. Maybe you can force a double commit out there at this point. So Phantom's going to stick to this one. Goes wall to wall, into Rocket League, back down the pitch here. Waiting for it is Wish. We'll find Monster King instead. Looking for that bump, too. That was a good idea. He was the last one back, and Kyler would have been positioned correctly in that moment. Strong arm play from Phantom. It'll ring off the post, and Kyler with a big touch to get it back out to midfield.
A vulnerable moment there for BPC. There was two players, Manny and Wish, that had no boost, and Kyler was the last one to have it, but they at least find one collection. Kyler, weird and awkward moments as Berger's just staring him down. Telling him, hey, come and jump at this. You're going to let me get a 50-50 off of you. That's a strike on target. They forced the rotation out. That'll be a second goal from the Eagles. They just forced BPC's hand.
Yeah, it's Wish. Saul Manny, sometimes when you're in those moments defensively, you're looking around, who can I get the ball to get this ball out? And you see a car and you immediately think that they're in the right position to be able to jump out and get the touch away from defenders. It's not that one person completely failed that opportunity. It's just a misread, and at the end of the day, just got to brush it off the shoulders here. Winthrop Garnet took advantage of it, yes, and they might take advantage of another one if they're not careful here. But 2-0 is certainly not out of the range of possibilities, especially what we saw BPC do in game number 1.
This is exactly the pace right now. If the score were to settle, that happened last week of Winthrop Garnet eventually taking down Kennesaw State Premier B. They lost the first 2 games, won the next 2 games, traded, and then got the last 2 when it was necessary to eventually take down the Owls. Will that happen again? BPC has 70 seconds to get their first one on the board here for game number 4, but they have been scoring not by the truckload that they're kind of used to for keeping pace with this offensive trade-off. Instead, it's been very narrow. What a save by Phantom to make sure that stays as a shutout.
It's been a couple, staying true to his name. Had no idea where he was at first. Came out of nowhere. Came out of the ether to make that save. Man, he's going to have to recollect himself on the corner. That touch is not a good one, but he made up for it real quick, as you had to. Otherwise, that was an easy goal there from Winthrop. Good job to see him recover there and kind of calm things down. And here it goes. Still looking for it. Kyler up high. Wanted to be able to find his man, but again, Berger just reading it so well. And I think Winthrop has done enough to at least kill some time. Brewton-Parker's got to try to collect things and move quickly.
I don't have a lot in the tank to be able to do it too. Manny's going to be up there. Wish is going to be the last one on deck, and that's going to clear and ice this out. It was 2-0. BPC, they had brought their swords and they were ready to fight, but the Barons have been kicked back and flown off the mountain by the Eagles as they now have joined that upper peak with them. It's going to be 2-2 going to game number 5. Winthrop Academy Garnet has gotten ourselves into a very tight series.
Even grounds. We saw in game 1 how Brewton-Parker College was able to answer goal for goal. Well, Winthrop says we can answer back in games played as well. So that a little bit of how I can't confidently say it was discouragement there in the comms when we talk about games 1 and games 2. So close, but not being able to pull it out, but they've looked a lot stronger since that point in time, and shutting out this Brewton-Parker College JV team is pretty stout, especially the way that they operate, and the way that they've been able to do that is by reading the play a little bit earlier as well. I think, Brewton-Parker College JV, we're just raving about their ability to find a teammate in the middle and just be able to kind of play that ball game, but it can be very readable, especially when Winthrop's good on that attack and counter-attack as well. It can make it very difficult to go up against, and Winthrop has found the right end of some ball luck a couple of times as well, not to mention when you add that with the defense that we saw from Phantom. It's a good combination to have here for Winthrop.
They're making their own fortunes too. Much of what we've seen is division from plays like what Burger has done. Phantom, obviously, at the beginning of that entire game, number 4. And I mean, Monster King, much the same. This entire team has been operating very purely through how can they beat the initial man into a very solid ego check. Then what can they do to give a great zone play over to one of their teammates? BPC, as soon as they've been divided by some of those, they cannot recover. The passes are just not been available. They've been able to find these reads, and so much of it, even at a high pace, has been telegraphed just enough for the Eagles to divide and conquer. Now, BPC can start striking fast like we know they can and gain just that little bit of extra space. Might be able to finally capitalize, but Eagles might be going to work here.
When you let the Eagles get settled in like they are currently, it makes it way more difficult. If you're not going to win the boost battle, it suddenly becomes insurmountable as far as what Winthrop can put on. So I'd like to see them get right back to that, be able to control the play. They're a little bit late to challenges, but that one won't harm them as they were able to get that clear. But Phantom's still in an awkward spot. Here's Wish, taps it down, has a teammate, but a good read again there from Monster King to shut them down defensively. Kyler right back up to the sky, but nullified with a big bump there at midfield.
That was a very speedy back pass. It went over the midfield line where Kyler was waiting, but they read that one the whole way too from out of Winthrop Garnet. Trying to chase it down, get a demo on a Monster King, creates a smoke screen. Wish is just going to go up with no boost. There are no boosts. Warrior, though, they find one solid touch. They may get another one. This is going to be an undercut, I think, from out of Manny. Does end up being skied out as it's punted. Now, again, I speak to the Week 1 series that Winthrop took over Kennesaw. They went to a game, game number 7, where they eventually won it. That game 5 was dropped out, and maybe this will be the same recovery lane for the Barons.
You gotta wonder if that's kind of a pattern that could repeat itself. They certainly want to be the ones recognized as the ones that can create those chances when they show themselves. Burger is up ceiling high here. Wish is right back on it too. Be looking around for a teammate here in this moment. Phantom trusting the defense from Monster King. It eventually got there, but still in dangerous spot here. Burger awkward to it. Luckily for them, BPC wasn't ready for it positionally. And this will hang out at midfield. Monster King, no boost in the tank, gonna be demoed off it. He'll get a free 33 and a respawn on the defensive side of the pitch. And here's where Winthrop Garnet tries to get right back to it. Burger off the back wall. Follow-up is there, but Wish with a good read. Big clear now. Kyler's got numbers, tries to hurry with it, but Phantom does enough there in that corner to again buy time for his teammates to cycle around.
This game is sprinting away, Bear. 2.5 minutes have already gone by. BPC has had some solid looks, and they have had vulnerable moments where Winthrop Garnet has had no boost. So several seconds, I believe at least 10 to 15 seconds or so, where collectively the team had about 40 spread between them. They've got to jump at those moments. Obviously, you don't straight up know it, but as they began to slow down, they had them all planted to the floor. Now Burger spotting Monster King. He's going to get behind him, and Monster King is going to take this open grass position and stand. Phantom has plenty to be able to rock and roll defensively, and they will boom this one away. Stepping up is Kyler. That ends up being a drop zone. You got to be very worried if you're BPC. Everyone's right in front of your net. They went out on 50. He's going to get that save off the post. The failure gung this time is successful.
Super lucky that Manny was coming across in that moment. That's not exactly where you wanted to be positionally. It still worked out for you. But Burger has now got it off back wall. It's going to be a tough read there for the defense, but Burger, tough read for him as well. Wasn't able to take advantage of it. Right back down. Monster King floats one. Wish will be able to shut it down. Burger right back to it, and Winthrop's starting to look like BPC did in game number 1 with all these follow-ups. And Brewton-Parker College looked that way the next couple of games as well, but they certainly have gotten that bag of tricks right where they want them. This game is ticked down super quick. We're almost to a minute left, and an opportunity here for Brewton-Parker College, but another big defensive play from Winthrop.
Had a boost for all of a moment. BPC Feels like they've got to strike while the iron is hot, and it's cooled off for them over the course of this game. They've got 75 seconds to go. Make less than that, actually, as we're hitting the minute mark. Winthrop Garnet, this will be the moment where you stop their momentum. They're going to try and get into Wish's grill. Burger's going to be there. It's a handoff, a great intercept, I believe by Manny. Kyler comes across from the corner. They cannot counterplay, though. Every time they get the ball away from the Eagles, they end up just slamming right back into another player at midfield. 30 seconds to go, Bear. BPC is on the ropes, but no one scored yet.
No, and they get an extra touch, but that one's left in the middle. When's the challenge coming? Finally, it does. Burger will be shut down. It's Phantom next to it next. Will be demoed off it. He's got support from Monster King. Will jump over one. Slow plays it. Try to get to the bump, but not in time. Right now, still left there. Burger wasn't able to get to it. Monster does. One left here, but he's pickpocketed there in the corner by Brewton-Parker College. As they try to stay alive, they're going to let it hit the ground wisely. We go to overtime for game number 5.
Match point available for whoever gets the golden goal here in game 5. It only takes one goal to win. We've had tons of them in previous games. Kylo with a setup. Wish trying to climb the ladder. They do so. A threat, but that's all it is, as they cannot put any extra speed behind that shot. This one moves back upfield to Winthrop Garnet. It's another day at the office. Some more time on the orange half, but only briefly.
Yeah, now it's going to switch halves once again. Burger still hangs, and the patience of Winthrop is noticeable, both on the goal line and back out here at midfield. Now Wish now sends it all the way back. Played high by Phantom. Followed up on it as well. We'll go to the back wall. Wasn't able to get the back touch, and Manny tried to pinch it off, but it's right in the hands of Monster King. But Phantom not able to turn in time. This one right to Kyler. He's got a bump play there, but Phantom was there in support. Somehow knew that that was going to be the case and got across to make yet another save. How many times have we said that in the series?
Minute into it, we may be saying it even more. EPC is finally in a great setup. Don't have a lot of boost to him. Kyler has to bail out. Manny much the same, and Manny's not going to bring this over to corner. He actually has a chance to push this across. Wish screaming through. The Barons outlasting the Eagles, and they take this one from just off perimeter. And Wish never gave up after Manny called his name.
Saw that he was beating the rush from Burger back. There was literally a foot race, a tire race, if you will, whatever you want to call it. And that's his second overtime winner from Wish in this series. Just ice cold in their veins. I wanted to say the same thing about Winthrop Garnet coming down in the final seconds of regulation and then into overtime. And they were pretty icy when we talk about the defense. But Brewton-Parker College, JV team, able to hop to match point here at this side at this point in time. It's still following that same trend for Winthrop that we saw, that you called out, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So you can never count out Winthrop, especially the way that they've been playing. But the fact that Brewton-Parker College wins yet another close one, still got to say, I mean, obviously gives them an edge in games played, but also in the confidence department as well.
This is the exact same pattern as last week. 2 one way, to the other. The game 5 goes to their opponent. Winthrop, literally, if they want to be 2-0 through the first 2 weeks of the Division II play, needs to absolutely repeat this pattern all over again. The ones that must stop them is the team that has newly joined us here with NECC. So Brewton-Parker Christian has to be able to do it here right in game number 6. Also, shout out over to Manny. They straight up told us, like, I did a handstand in Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. He's got to feel like he was doing a handstand, what he had to do to be able to get that ball across that net and give Wish that chance. So this team is all vibes, all energy. They had to lock into this moment. Winthrop, they can do the same thing. That one, a very tight ball game, a 1-0 game. This one has the makings of feeling like it's got to break out.
Didn't have to stand on his head, instead stood on his hands. Or to make that happen. You know, got the rest of the support. Wish that Kyler's been just insane. Love to see them be able to contribute. And also be able to coordinate who was going to go for that one this year. That was equidistant. They somehow got that one out. Kyler plays it forward off the corner, tries to get the read, gets a good one, and beats the defender. Nice shot there from the Coke All-Star formerly. 1-0 BPC.
Off the corner to this read right behind Burger. That's one. All right, I'm gonna equate this to my League of Legends players. That's when you say what the rest of the team is dead. You tell your ADC, hey, play safe. Burger was at the back post. And you're like, hey man, don't rotate too far. He's like, I just left. But now Burger from end to end is putting a hot grill out there and tying us up.
Oh, Nakari, what I call him. What a play there. That flip, perfectly timed to beat you, and then the double touch, it just absolutely comes natural to this kid. He's dynamic when he needs to be. Got to talk to him when I visited Winthrop's esports offices just a couple of weeks ago, and the kid is just number one down to earth until he plays Rocket League, and then suddenly he's in the skies making plays like that.
Well, you gotta have awaken those demigod powers, or just be a juicy burger. Get the flavor. Oh, what a save. Manny denying Burger from having the two-piece. Burger trying to chase down maybe another opportunity. They're going to have to recoil backwards instead. One of their teammates was real low, and they got to that corner boost instead. And Burger is just aiming for disruption. Monster King wants to trampoline this one into a chance. He goes flipping to try and steal that corner boost, and often priority to get BPC a little low on boost. This one with Kyler, it's a drop down. What a save by Burger!
The dynamic solo plays in this have been so fun to watch, number one. But that one defended in that moment was just excellent as well. It's one of those times, like, it's almost like a team practice. It's super ideal where, like, your defense is playing extremely well. It makes the offense look bad from time to time. So you don't know who's the real hero, but everybody playing great in this lobby. And that fake was something different as well. Monster King will take that 2-1 now for Winthrop.
Great pass by Phantom, kept it low. Monster King forced Kyler to jump, and he's like, haha, made you look. Roped-a-doped it right underneath his car, and that tumbler now gives the Eagles this lead. BPC JV and everyone trying to strut their stuff after we went through a very fast clock, 5 minutes straight into an overtime for just a 1-0 game number 5. Game 6 is delivering.
Phantom, explain yourself. An accidental backflip in that moment. Oh, man, he's a great interview as well, but, you know, love the kid. He was probably beating himself up for that one, hopefully not for too much longer. But nothing really came of it. Brewton-Parker College wasn't able to take advantage of the accidental backflip. Gave away a lot of pitch space, but no harm done. Great touch from Burger, though. That one's wide open. Can they follow it up? Eventually they get there. It took long, Monkey, but they did. It'll be 3-1 now.
You have two defenders that immediately dash backwards to take on Burger because of course you do, and then they come right back over, and Monster King just slaps that off the ground and gets it over him. So you had him sweeping one way, chasing another, and right now BPC, I mean, they've got this lead in the series, but Winthrop Garnet they have goldfish memory, and it's paying off.
Not a disrespect to Winthrop, but the crazier that the game looks, the better they perform. So yeah. They just thrive in chaos, thanks, TCRL. But it seems to be the case. Now, right back to it also. It's always just the close games that get to Winthrop Garnet. I don't know what it is, but it's 100% accurate. And right now, Winthrop, if they get another goal, you feel super confident since they would be running away with it in that sense.
Sweaty games? No. Absolute chaos games and just throwing, everything at the wall? Sure. That's where the Eagles fly. Trying to rise up again. Burger has elevated into a different being. As Nakari themselves wants to be able to find an opportunity from the perimeter. Phantom will back off. Burger will be the main man. Monster King will be in support. There's a collapse between each other. That's going to be a chance. The Phantom did not bite.
Phantom again. So hard to get it past this one man. Imagine having the rest of the team be great at defending as well. So you can see what BPC is up against, but they still have the series lead. Literally just like a couple wrong moves, and this could be BPC closing out the series. There's Manny right back up to it. Trying the handstand again. Tries to get the bump out in front, gets one. This one's open, but Wish got a little bit urgent. Maybe a little bit too much, as they were not in the right place. Left it open for Phantom as well, but that one will go wide too. Chaos.
No touch one way, and an overread the other direction beforehand. 65 seconds to go. BPC looks like they have definitely been suffering at the pace, the speed, and definitely whatever in the world the Eagles' kind of snack was eaten between games 5 and 6. Game 7, an inevitability if BPC cannot catch up here in the next 45 seconds. Burger and company doesn't feel like they're going to let them. Manny with a drop on. Kyler has no one in support because Wish was on their way out. And I feel like BPC might be on their way out and seeing a Game 7 soon.
Yeah, it does feel that way. But ironically, if they get another goal, they'll be favorites because, you know, Winthrop can't win those one-goal games. Instead, Phantom barring in. 4-1 Winthrop Garnet. Looking like we're gearing up for it, Monkey. It'll be a Game 7 here, 26 seconds left, unless BPC can put together back-to-back-to-back goals.
They were not going to let you curse them with a one-goal game. They were not going to let that happen, Bear. Not at all. 23 seconds to go. A nail biter, to say the least. We get BPC. It's all but decided to force its way into a game number 7. We're being given a treat here in this Division 2 match for week number 2 at NECC. Winthrop Garnet, it was a close one, 1-0. This one has a victory lap. And the Eagles have job left to be done. BPC JV, they need to calm the troops and then rally them, get them ready for the end of the series.
Yeah, you certainly do. If you're just joining us here and you're anticipating the Missouri Southern State Gold facing off with UNC Asheville JV team, that'll be coming up just after this series. So we appreciate you hanging on with us, and you get a treat as well in the Game 7. So we wouldn't let you come in here for a boring series. No. Winthrop Garnet has been able to work their way into a Game 7 now against this team that's been super solid themselves, just cruising along with consistency until they were shut down offensively. In this one, Brewton-Parker College JV trying to hold on to the series lead that seems like it's been all them, but now even grounds here. If Winthrop can get off to that hot start, then suddenly they'll be on the back burner, no doubt about it.
You saw the same thing I did, but I'm going to elaborate again for the rest of our viewers. In difference from the very beginning of the first game, whenever this Winthrop Academy Garnet squad faced off against Kennesaw State's premier B team last week, it was kind of a lopsided loss in their game 1. It was a one goal loss in game number 2. Then it was 4 goals and 3 goals in favor of Winthrop in the next 2 games. Then a 1-goal loss in game 5, a 4-1 just like what we got in game 6. If we hold the pattern, Bear, if math in the universe comes out, this is supposed to be 5 for the Eagles. BPC needs to define magic in their own arcane rhythm and get through Winthrop.
Gotta find the secret. Dig deep. Do or die. Game 7. Would-be champions field. See who can gain that traction early in such a heated game here. Winthrop Garnet's had a rough week. They want to be able to turn it around. The way that you do that is by being able to feed the Monster King burger combination. Let Phantom work defensively. That's a quick play, but off the short side post. Will not bend in this time like we saw from Phantom there in the last game. So Garnet back to the drawing board, and it's Monster King again. Looking for it. Wish gets a touch. Is it enough, though? Burger right back to it. Leaves it for Phantom. A weak shot, far side post. Not going to go in. Monster King, though, will follow up, and Winthrop Garnet's got the 1-0 lead.
It's got to be so frustrating to be a Baron defender right now. They disguise everything. You never know if Burger's going to be the one to take the shot, who they're laying it up for. Phantom was the next man up, and just when they put an off-pace shot, bouncing around, ping-ponging from off of those perimeter posts, then that one just gets blitzed in by Monster away from that last defender, and you cannot jump fast enough to be able to chase it out. So already burning in a minute and a half, Bear. 1 goal forward here for Winthrop Garnet. Now BPC is going to try their chances. A big demo by Burger to get rid of Manny. He was their primary striker in this first couple of games. Ever since then, it's been a lot more worse for wear to get them activated.
Have to figure out a way to get them activated for sure. Demo, though, is going to let Kyler at least get out to midfield because they're low on boost. I wish to cycling around, but they bump into one another. Winthrop Garnet a little bit disorganized here defensively. Kyler off the corner. Now can they get that? They need a big touch, and Monster King gets back just in time. And it felt like Brewton-Parker College could have did more in that moment when Winthrop Garnet looked like they were just tripping over themselves.
They really were, and we've also, because of that, seen only one-shot chances. BPC gets maybe one, and then Winthrop Garnet turns them away. Monster King, off their nose, no boost, onto the hood, and then just waits for Wish to come to him. Wins the 50-50 off the left side fender, and that makes it 2 for Winthrop.
The Eagles thrive in chaos. We've said it so many times, even when they were looking chaotic themselves. It's a good sign, apparently. But Wish wants to try to answer back. We saw that in game 1, where they did answer back on every single goal. To get a 0-second goal, there's that answer. Manny's got one on the board for BPC.
A dime of difference this time around. As the JV squad from out of BPC won't let this one be a clean sweep, having to bump into traffic as Monster King, and he's not able to navigate fast enough as he chases after the rotation. So much of it was just left at the back door for Winthrop. So BPC just throwing everything they can at it. Off of the front face, Monster King wants to get back down to business and brass tacks. Kyler's in a one-on-one. He's gonna bring this to sidewall, and Burger's hoping for a touch. That's a fantastic pass! We're tied up 2-2 at 2:22.
Oh, the 2's a line. Means we got a great series. That touch just past Burger. That's a couple of times where he was just a little bit misplaced. And just that little bit of difference in this series is enough to break the Camel's back. But will it be that big mistake Winthrop's looking to avoid? Phantom right back up top. Got a couple on the back wall. This one will fall down dangerously. Kyler is able to manage this one. Right back out. Burger wants to be able to pursue this one, but a quick touch here from Manny back the other way. Has some bumping support there. Flip reset puts it on target, but Phantom, no surprise, there to shut it down.
Dangerous navigation of that back line, though. They've definitely been ambitious and very volatile in the way that they want to kind of draft around that goal line. Phantom came from the outside in. Anything of mishandle, and that would have been bad news Bears. The good news for them is that they have good handles on them. Burger with a strike. Oh, and the fadeaway. Kyler was coming from outside the post, looking to make that contact, and Burger just never let this play go.
That's such a tough read there, too. Manny knew there were sideways. You got to just be able to rotate around and try on the next jump. And then you'll have two individuals trying to guess at that point. So either way, tough to try to read. Winthrop Garnet on top, 3-2. Kyler wants the answer. Quick there. Saved originally. Burger finally got some help here. And a pre-flip from Monster will push it forward. But right in the hands of Wish. But he left it wide open. Phantom, man on the spot. 4-2 Winthrop.
Wonderful side fender flourish by Monster King to force Wish to have to climb up, and unfortunately for him, Phantom was just waiting for there to be weakness in that grab. 2 one way, 2 the next, and guess what? 2 more go to the Eagles. They kill the man in Manny, who I thought might have a chance at it. This is going to be a threat from off of the front face of that 90, and now it's just demo heaven. Winthrop might be trying to put BPC to rest.
Wish has one last wish. And it's that try to find a goal. Here is a break in. Again, the box, but no support. Kyler was late there too. And Monster King was just able to dribble through him essentially. And that's more time killed off this clock.
Less than a minute to go. Winthrop Garnet, can they do it again? Same exact pattern. Nearly the same goal differences in majority of these games. The way they did it last week. BPC JV feels like they're running out of gas. They're definitely running out of time. It's going to be Manny that climbs the ladder. Phantom with yet another demo, and those constant resets on the rotations have got to be frustrating. Monster King is not going to let this enter his territory for free. Doesn't make second connection. Wish and Manny, they've got to be able to run this one upfield, and they're just running out of chances at this point.
First time in a while that they have boost, but this one's going to be strong-armed by Monster King, and they're going to live in this BPC zone. Finally, they got an opportunity wide open. Kyler will punch it in. Manny wanted to just make sure there with the steal. Call it whatever you want. Listen, Brewton-Parker College, good on the kickoffs. 10 seconds is a lot of time here.
That demo right onto that back Winthrop player that was rotating into the midfield line, huge. No one there to try and even get a chance at it. 10 seconds to go. BPC needs overtime. They're going to be pushed to the brink and to the back wall. Burger hanging on the ceiling, and he reads it the whole way. There's not a lot of boost, and there's absolutely zero time. Monster King just has to hit the grass. They're aiming to do so now from off the sidewall. Phantom stays aloft. They're burning through every resource they have just to be able to touch this ball. Phantom's going to be on top of it. It goes skyward. You have a man underneath. Goes to Kyler with a flick, but denied. Winthrop Garnet. They take it in 7.
Oh boy, what a series. Winthrop fight from behind there. And the same pattern holds true. In chaos, Winthrop hold on. And guess what? They won a 1-goal game. Crazy how that works out for them. What a fitting way to end this series, and a good way to bounce back from yesterday's loss and really get back into place here. When we talk about NECC terms, that'll push them to that 2-0 mark as well. So they've had to get it done twice in Game 7, so it's not a comfortable, 2-0 here at this point in time, but it feels pretty dang good right now.
It feels fantastic. If you're BPC, obviously, welcome to NECC. Your first week was a 4-0 sweep, and into this one, it was a little bit tougher. Still, though, for everything that we got to be able to view, this is a solid squad. It was very, very spry in those first couple of games, and they were able to trade blows. But Winthrop, creating the storm where the Eagles flocking together and moving as one, and even in the chaos of it all, Monster King looked stellar. Burger and Phantom had their same moments as well. Can't wait to see maybe these teams do it again here, Bear. But for the time being, Division 6 and Division 2, they've had their shares. We're going to be taking a short break. If you are here for our next one, it's coming on up. It's going to be Missouri Southern State University going up against University of North Carolina, Asheville JV. You won't want to miss it. Be right back with NECC.